Hi, everybody, and welcome to Off the Rack, and a comic book review show where we take the comic books of the past week, recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week. And sometimes when there's a comic book movie or an ancillary TV series going on, and we catch it around that time, we'll talk about that too, and that is the case today. I'm your host, Al.
I'm Tiffany. Sorry, I don't know.
That threw off Ben and Ethan too one time. I did
really
back
threw
issues, and I said, I'm your host, Sal. And they were like, and I guess we're nothing. And I'm like, no, you say you're host too.
Yeah,
no one, you guys don't watch media as much as I do. You guys don't just like take your P's and Q's from like every other YouTuber, TV host, anything. You've watched as much, if not more TV than I ever did.
Yeah.
So you know how to like work the crowd and throw it to them and introduce yourself.
I don't know how to do anything. I am a trash person.
You are not a trash person. You are, in fact, the best person. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. We got a lot to talk about, so much to discuss. We've got comic books. By the way, welcome back to the show. We took a week off.
We did.
Needed the time. Not just for our own minds, but also because we had human beings here.
We had our own special guest.
We had our own, in life. And it was a nice little cameo appearance. And in fact, we even managed to co-opt their time into something for you. So I would keep a lookout in the next couple of weeks for a special guest you may have seen on at least 2 episodes of Back Issues. Back again to talk a little Star Wars with us.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
It was.
We shot 2 episodes. One.
Yeah, you totally.
I whizzed it. I didn't record the audio, so it's completely ruined and you'll never see it. You'll never see it. But
he offered to record commentary over it.
He did. And maybe Monday we'll do it. Maybe. And if we did, we make it available for those on patreon.com/ComicPop, where you can actually go and support us directly if you so choose. But if you want to support us on this very episode, all you got to do to sponsor today's episode is use Super Chats and ask a question or comment, and we'll read it here on the show, like this fine person here, Elizabeth Russell, who says, hey guys, I was wondering what Marvel villain you think is closest to a version of the Joker. I'd have to say Bullseye. Tiffany?
I guess that's not a bad one. Maybe Carnage.
Yeah, I'd say Carnage. I think DeMatteis thought it was Carnage because he paired those two up.
Regardless of that, I think the like sadistic pseudo force of nature, that would be my closest. I was trying to like really make the Green Goblin work. See,
that's my pick.
I was really trying to make Green Goblin work.
Yeah. I think it's because Gobby blames his actions on insanity, and Joker does too. And it's like, you both know what you're doing. Like, you're both sadistic. You're both green and purple themed.
Yeah.
You're both the main antagonist of your respective tier level hero.
Yeah.
Every time that you fight any other hero, it's kind of weird. Metatextually speaking.
Sure.
Brian Rowland says, the first issue of Sinister War reminded me of when I was 6 with my Spider-Man toys, all the villains smashing against each other and Spider-Man. And who better to draw it than Mark Bagley, who's drawn all those characters and more. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense for me. Let's see. I think the next one here is Jacob, who says, Jacob Montez, something for the piggy bank. Thank you very much, Jacob. I will put your donation in the piggy bank, the ComicPop piggy bank.
There are a few guesses as to who the guest was.
Yeah?
Somebody got it.
Did they?
I'm not going to say who.
Do you know who it is?
What?
The guest we're having today.
We have a guest today?
Oh, yeah. No, we have a surprise episode guest who is going to be...
No, I meant on Back Issues.
Oh, did someone get it?
Someone guessed
It's not Santa.
I'm not going to say who it is, but there are a few guesses in there, but somebody got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why Try I Sweat says, so happy to see you guys. So great to see you too.
Well,
thank
it's great
you so much.
To see you. First of all, yay, and
thank you
so very
for
much for
kindness.
that. Hang on, I'm going to co-op your comment. What?
Yeah, no. Josh Williamson is going to bomb in on today's episode, probably in the next half hour.
Okay,
and join us to chat a little bit.
I will roll away.
You sure? Because you can cue in.
That's telling you. It's like it's 1-to-1. You guys know each other. You're gonna hang out. You're gonna have fun. I'm gonna go.
Well, it's only gonna be like a truncated thing where he's just
by
gonna
the foot.
Well, you might as well. We have them.
I know.
You bought them.
There's only 2 left.
It's true.
And I would like one.
Well, let's talk about comics then before we get into everything else, because we are going to talk about the Masters of the Universe Revelation. We watched every episode of the show. We saw the hype. We saw the discussions.
We've
heard
seen it all, Fran.
That's right. We've heard your complaints and your well, I don't think I've only heard complaints.
I just hit my head against the microphone.
Well,
so I hope everybody heard that too. Are we talking about that first?
No.
Oh,
but Raj Patel says Superman and the Authority is such a great start by Morrison. Hope y'all read it. Can't wait for the surprise guests and love seeing the innovations you guys are putting out there on the channel. Thank you, Raj. Thank you very much, man. And we're trying to keep the innovations going, dude. So let's jump into some books. Is there anything you want to just kind of touch upon? Because I will touch upon a book if you like, besides myself. I do appreciate it, though.
You go first.
It's very nice. So here we go. I'm going to talk a little bit about Ryan Sook and Dan Jurgens' Blue and Gold, #1 of 8.
Can I just say I actually really like that lockup for the DC logo for a limited series?
Yes.
I really like that symmetry.
Right?
A lot.
That's what DC does. Like they have been nailing the top left branding.
I just needed to say that because I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
No,
I didn't notice it before. I was just like, oh,
right.
Seeing it now.
Yeah,
really go for it.
Blue and Gold #1. Like I said, Dan Jurgens bringing back Booster, but pairing it with Blue Beetle as it should be. You're seeing this pairing in today's DC universe. We see a big old cameo appearance from the Justice League. That is to say, Bendis' Justice League with Queen Hippolyta, Black Adam, Nomi, everybody. And let me tell you, this is actually kind of a fun book. It was genuinely about the main protagonist. Introduces it with Booster and his bravado, then introduces Blue Beetle, then introduces the central conflict, and then they resolve said conflict. It's a textbook comic that Dan Jurgens is more than capable of delivering. It's fun. You know, if you are a classic Booster Gold Blue Beetle fan, you're going to enjoy this. If you don't know who the hell these guys are, I think you'll get a pretty good idea about who these two are. I've always wanted to like Blue Beetle more than I've ever liked Blue Beetle when I've seen him, except during the era of Justice League. And so I will say I dig it.
I was gonna check this out. I didn't get a chance.
That's fair.
I want to touch on something that people noticed in the comments. The number of tabs you see at the top are for our recommendations later on. We keep them open there so that we can later just grab that list and share that with you. So no one's looking up anything. It's just those are for later. Yeah. So if you saw like 35 tabs,
it is. It's all our recommendations. So you're actually getting a little preview of what's going to be coming out later.
That's what that was.
Yeah. No, that's the page I'm going to be sharing with the screen, which is why it's there. But yeah, Blue and Gold #1. It's a recommend for me. I just think it's a genuinely fun, whimsical series, and I hope the tone remains.
Yeah, I honestly I like the limited series for a lot of characters, and like I get fans, wanting an ongoing, did I enjoy having a Doctor Strange ongoing? Sure.
That would be nice.
Do I think it's better as a limited series? Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. I think your favorite Doctor Strange runs have ever been limited.
The Aaron run was,
it clearly was a limited series.
Well, we didn't know that all of them are when you think about it like that.
Well, there was that period, Sorcerer Supreme. I think there's like 75, 100 issues of that series.
That's a different time.
That's when everything Super Pro got more than 12 issues.
Yeah, that's a different time. But yeah, I think this is one of those things where it's like, in the back of your head, it's 8 issues.
Right.
You can probably pick this up, or that you'll be able to grab a trade of this at some point.
Totally. And how nice to get a friggin' trade paperback today that features these two characters.
Yeah, I think that's solid.
I also like the Jurgens is just taking King's retcons of Booster Gold and just being like, no. No, they do keep some of those things, like their horrible bros before heroes line that King coined, which they truncate to bros before rose, like apostrophe rose, something that no one would ever do.
That sounds very in brand.
Yeah, but it works. There's also this thing, this narrative thing within the book where, we see he's live streaming his heroism, which I think we've seen before. And we're seeing like the commentary from the regulars in the chat. Very reminiscent of an experience that people who make their living online would experience. Cute, fun. You see some regulars. Bibbo Babowski has apparently a Twitch account or something.
Of course.
It's cute.
Why not?
Yeah, love it.
That's someone helped him with.
Yeah, but that was cute. Yeah, someone must have helped him because he's old. Carl Maxey says, I love Batman Damned, but what if DC made a Superman Damned? What story would you tell with Clark?
Yeah, you could touch on, you could do a spin-off of the Neil Gaiman Green Flame book where Superman goes to hell.
Right.
You could probably take that concept and like expand upon it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it Superman Down. I'd call it Superman in Hell. Just straight up use that because they can do that now.
But like in theory, it's like, you know, if you think about like the concept of a place like that, and that like time may span differently. We got a little bit of what he was seeing.
Oh yeah, but what if we saw it all?
Like the moments he lived and how long it might have been for him.
Totally,
that'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah. That's just off the top of your head.
That's off the top of my head.
That's an Eisner by accident.
No, it's not.
Stephen Coronado, which belongs in a museum, says, "Great to catch you guys live. Just finished a Daniel Warren Johnson binge, and I love his work. Who are your creators that you'll read everything they do?" Honestly, it really depends on how high they are at the time in my heart. You know,
yeah.
I love D-Dubs right now, but I don't love everything. You know, like I'm not the world's biggest Murder Falcon fan. I read a little bit of it. Just he sent us a couple of things, and I read one. I'm like, all right, the Yard's dope, but like I don't care. You know, it's just not for me. But like Dead Earth, Beta Ray Bill, you know, that's all amazing, and I'm cool with that. All of his Batman stuff, all the death metal crap that they made him do. The Batmobeast, I believe he did that one.
I think it's one of those, at least for me, that it's like I'm more likely to try.
Yes, yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Like the King.
Like Tom King, if he's doing like a mini series, I'm probably gonna at least check it out. I mean, I love it, but I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Kieran Gillen, Cy Spurrier,
BKV.
Right? Yeah, Brian K. Vaughan, probably. I'm gonna try that out at the very least. Yeah, those are some of them. I'm sure I have many more. But,
no doubt.
But it's less that I'm like, I will read this and love it, and no matter what.
Yeah.
Junji Ito.
Oh, of course.
Like that one's like, that's a no-brainer. That one is I didn't have to try it. I will just purchase it.
Yes. It's sight unseen.
To consume, like without it knowing anything about it. So that I guess that's my answer.
That's fair. So did you read anything you want to talk about right now?
Yeah. Let's chat real. There's a book that every once in a while I'm like, let me bomb in on based on the cover.
Okay.
Let me bomb in on this based on the cover. And I picked up Savage Avengers number 22.
Oh, that's that old chestnut. I remember how much you occasionally would read it.
I think I legit just need to grab some trades of this and go back and figure out where I left off. Because let's be honest, we're still dealing with Cullen Gath. It's still Conan. He's still running into characters. He just fought Ghost Rider. So I feel like I got to go back and read 21 to see that, right? But look at this cover, guys. You're getting the promise of Ghost Rider riding a spider. He's going to fight a giant spider in the third act.
Well, they are the fiercest animals in the insect kingdom.
They have to do that, right? That does happen. We do see this.
I should hope.
It is not the main crux of the issue. I do have my questions about this. Look, what you need to know about this is that Conan and Ghost Rider encounter Nightmare. Because Nightmare is like has a problem with Cullen Gath as well. And so he wants to get rid of him. He's like, you got to go find Strange.
Yeah.
Tell Steve I said hi.
Right.
But you got to go find him because listen, Gath doesn't know where you are, Conan, and you are his number one fear.
Exactly.
We get to see Conan's nightmare.
Yeah. What is it?
Conan has no nightmares, but one. And it is dying alone, a withered man with his boots off.
That's right. Yes.
And we see it. He's like
a Doc Holliday death.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
That's awesome.
But that is so Conan. And Nightmare's like, God.
He's like, what? Oh,
you.
God.
All right, you.
Uh-huh.
He's like, you got to go find Steve because Steve might be in trouble.
That's awesome.
And you got to team up. The end of this issue, which is probably going to make me pick up the next issue if I remember to do so, promises something that I've been really wanting to see. And I'm excited to see that because when Conan goes to Steve's house.
Yeah.
He knocks on the door.
He's been there, right?
Yeah, they've worked together. And
so
now
he knows where he lives.
Conan can actually see through the enchantments.
Okay,
because
great.
He's been there. He knows it. And also because he's chilling at the Hellfire Club right now because it's been abandoned.
I remember
he's living in there. Like seemingly wearing their clothes.
Well, he's like, these are amazing robes. They're silken and feel great.
Yeah.
They're all Emma's.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Her undergarments are most comfortable.
If she's going to be like,
okay,
well, listen, we're gonna have a talk, but first we're gonna do something else,
right?
But when he comes inside, he gives Steve a hard time. He's like, "I thought you were cool, man. You're not cool." And Steve's like, "Listen, I'm sorry. I'm like,
I want to be cool.
I'm with a patient right now." It's Shumagorath.
What?
Which I was like, "Hooray! It's the crossover."
I can imagine Conan being like, "No,
it can't be Shumagorath. All right, he sucks."
That's awesome.
So I'm like, "All right, that's fair."
Dope.
We got spiders. We got nightmare. We got to see Conan's, greatest
Fear.
nightmare, and then we get Shumagorath. Here's my one, what?
Uh-huh.
How do things work?
Right.
So even though, really, the Ghost Rider riding a spider thing is in a nightmare, his head is on fire.
Yeah.
But typically when you think about the Ghost Rider means of conveyance, it's the wheels that are on fire.
Yes.
So shouldn't his legs be on fire?
He should. Yes. No.
Or with the horse, it's usually all of it.
Yeah.
But definitely the hooves.
Right. No, he should have flaming legs.
So I was so then I started questioning what
all of it. Everything.
How does it work?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
So
I want to know.
Anyway.
Savage Avengers from Jerry Duggan and Patrick Zurcher.
Yeah.
So it's a recommend.
I mean, I don't think I jump in here. I definitely don't.
I know you did.
I did, but I've been kind of keeping up here and there. I knew that he had worked with Strange. I knew that the Colin Gath issue. I knew a lot of these things. Conan's been endlessly just kind of floating around doing his thing with one goal, but also running into various other characters, especially ones who aren't doing anything, i.e.
Sure.
Strange, Ghost Rider.
Yep. Yeah, neither of them have series right now.
Oh, and don't forget, he also has a symbiote.
Yes.
He's got a little symbiote.
Yeah, Conan has one.
Yeah. Also, everybody hates Colin Gath.
Right.
Everybody hates them.
How come was there any King in Black tie-in with Conan?
Yeah, I think there was.
I would assume that would have been resolved, but I don't know.
Yeah. The symbiote?
Yeah.
I think he's just chilling with
him.
It's
cool.
it's just on his hand.
It's a little one. Yeah.
It's just a little thing.
Yeah.
It's a little guy.
That's how that works.
It's totally how it works.
Whatever. Grievousish says, hey gang, just stopping in to say hi. Also a fan of Moon Knight for a while, so I'm glad Jed's book is starting off strong. Fingers crossed. Yes, there's a Moon Knight book, and yes, it's met with some fanfare. I'm excited to see. We'll talk more about Moon Knight in a second. Girk Pectus, did you hear the creator of Safe Space and Snowflake is writing Blade? This is going to be a hilarious train wreck. Calling it now, Blade is the bad guy. Honestly, I mean, Daniel Kibblesmith has done a number of different pieces of work, from comics to TV to he's a comedy writer, so him doing Blade, not my first choice. Good luck, Dan. I hope it works out for you. Honestly, I would not have, no, especially given that Aaron has clearly been kind of gunning for Blade.
Well, maybe if he's not writing Blade, then he can write the freaking King Conan book that I want.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine that Marvel would definitely sideline Jason Aaron to give Daniel Kibblesmith a crack at Blade. I'm just saying it's weird because
maybe he really didn't want it though.
Well, that's probably true. He's probably busy. I mean, he's not stopping writing Avengers. So anyway, but good luck to him. Danby900 says, I'm sure their special guest is actually Nicolas Cage to promote Pig, and you aren't discussing Motu at all. It's a heck of a twist. Pig is very good. I've heard great things about Pig.
I have too.
Yep.
He had to get one.
I know.
He gets one every once in a while.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Law of averages. But he is a good actor.
No, I'm not saying that Nick Cage is not a good actor. I am saying that Nick Cage doesn't know when to say no.
Well, he can't. He's spent too much money.
Well, all his castles.
Yes, too many castles.
No, and I mean, it's the PlayStation 2 theory.
Yeah.
You just put it all out there, and one of them's got to be a good game.
Yeah, game of the year.
I'll just say yes to all the movies. One of them's got to be good.
That's right. But he's also, because he's good, it's not like Steven Seagal said yes to everything too.
Right.
And he sucks across the board.
No, I know. And I assume that sometimes he just says yes because he's like, oh, who cares?
Right. Well, the reality is it's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck, and I'll just go off the rails.
I think he's multiply divorced, so it's I got a lot of checks to write.
That's okay.
Elizabeth Russell, I also read Irredeemable Ant-Man series. All three of the Ant-Man are kind of bad people, or at least sleazy, with Scott being the most likable. He is the most likable. He's the one who has hit the women the least out of all of them. So,
and that's saying
what a feather in his cap, what an antenna in his helmet. But yeah, so there's plenty more to talk about. Let me very briefly, or not briefly, but I will address this book because it's everyone's favorite right now. And that, of course, is Nightwing number 82 from Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. This it does everything right with everything I hate. It has a massive retcon. Tony Zuko's daughter, who has been established as a villain, is actually Dick Grayson, Nightwing's secret half-sister. Whoa! Secret sister.
Which parent?
Her father, Dick's father.
What? Oh, okay. It was.
Yes, they share a father.
That's what I needed to know. I'm like,
yes.
I thought it was her father and his father, and I'm like, one of them is owed a lot of money.
Yes. No, it's
making that one work.
The entire issue is dedicated to the retcon, which makes sense. Zdarsky did the same thing. He did an entire Daredevil annual that actually reintroduced a sibling into continuity. The funny thing is, Zdarsky's doing it, and he's not getting money for it because that character had all been invented.
Right.
Whereas Tom Taylor be paid forever. And here's the thing, and I want to say this up front because this is my issue with these kinds of retcons.
Mhm.
It's that, like, because I read a thing recently, somebody was like, why sisters? Like, you know, Teresa Parker, this person,
Mhm.
Mike Murdoch, all this stuff. Like, why? And it's like, because you ever heard of Jill Stacy? Gwen Stacy's cousin? Like, no, because she's irrelevant. She showed up as a possible new girlfriend for Peter when he was a widower.
Mhm.
And then it turned out he wasn't because it wasn't working. But, like, Howard Mackie ain't getting checks for Jill Stacy because nobody's using that character.
Right.
Cousin of Gwen Stacy? No. Secret sister of Gwen Stacy.
Mhm.
You can't ignore that shit. If I give Nightwing a sister, now she's there. You're going to have to work extra hard to make her not relevant or not exist.
That's not true. They ignore things all the time.
Yeah, but a brother or a sister is super direct. It's very direct. It's not a secret cousin. It's not a villain or, like, you know, a secret parent, because YA is choked with dead parents and nobody cares about them. But, like, this is a secret sister. She will be in a show. There are 1,000 different DC animated or DC properties in television. I'm sure Titans will put her in there at some point because that show refuses to die. But I hate it. And I think it's just a desperate ploy for cash.
Okay.
Well, because comic books are a cash poor business. That said, it's a brilliant retcon. And when I say brilliant, I mean textbook perfection. It does a great job of setting it all up, making it work, doesn't mess anybody up, doesn't make Dick Grayson's father a adulterer, doesn't make her like a sob story, doesn't make Dick an absentee brother. It lines everything up so that it's like, this is, you didn't know because of these points. Okay, fine. I'm going to ignore it from now on. Sorry, Tom. But, like, I gotta recognize game. You wrote yourself a good ass retcon. And when I say good ass, I mean, like, it's like, I don't have, like, a lot of affinity for woodworking, but I can appreciate the craftsmanship of a good birdhouse. This is a solid birdhouse you built, Tom. Too bad I don't give a shit about birds.
That really I did not see that analogy coming.
I pride myself in that.
I know.
But yeah, so I mean, the book continues to be great. And there's a solid moment where the Bat family, of course, thinks that he's going to die. Or at the very least, Oracle thinks that Nightwing's in trouble. So, and Dick desperately gets his mask so he can contact Oracle when he finds out that he's not in desperate trouble. And so he's like, call off the rescue. And every Titan and and Batman, like, flying desperately with the Bat plane trying to get there.
Oh,
like,
that's really sweet.
Yeah. So great. Good stuff. See, it's Tom Taylor, man. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, it's a good book. It's just that, like, damn it, some folk just can't resist the opportunity to get themselves a check. Scuba Steve 23 Driver says, have you guys been checking out Extreme Carnage? I only wanted to drop this in because no, I'm not, and I never will. But thank you for the question. I'm sorry, I just don't care about Carnage. It's over.
I just love that.
Until the movie comes out, in which case, let there be carnage. Sphere Mode 420. Love you guys. Want to ask you what you think of Miller. I feel like he's unreservedly known as an edgelord, even though his stories have hopeful endings. This is Mark Miller. Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment. He's a good writer, and he's also an edgelord. There's no denying it. He toes the line.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah, sometimes a little more than others, but, like, that's everybody.
And again, I'd say he's also not another one of those where it's like he writes a lot.
He does write a lot. He's prolific.
Yeah, but then some of it hits, some of it doesn't. You know, he writes kind of all different genre. So.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. So what else did you read?
We could chat a little bit about X-Men because, you know,
I think we should.
We're just we're working our way up.
Yeah. We're making our way to Mars.
To the next thing.
Did you know that Mars was Duggan's idea? That had nothing to do with Hickman's plan.
That doesn't surprise me.
Right? Hickman was just like, he heard that pitch and he's like, oh, I like that. You know what? Let's change things. Let's do that.
That's the sign of a good leader.
Yes. Doesn't change what I'm doing, but it also enhances it and adds more. So I think Inferno is the midpoint.
Yeah, again, like, I don't, like, I know I said that, like, it feels like we're like in the end game, but it's like, it for me, that's the like, yay, we all were successful. And now it's like, okay, let's just watch this tumble for the next like year and a half, 2 years to like its inevitable conclusion, because it's just going to be all burnt and
well, I mean, it's certainly going to crash and burn.
It's an
but not in a bad way.
Trees,
like creatively, no.
Fire will come into play.
No doubt. There will be blood.
In the water.
In the water. And then the sharks will come.
Yeah.
All right. Now we'll take a second. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Mr. Josh Williamson. Josh, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just a Monday. You know how Mondays are.
I used to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, it's making comic books the usual. I'm working on some top secret stuff today.
Oh.
So much top secret stuff.
Yeah.
Working on what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we can't talk about any of it, can we?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I'm writing so much stuff. It's always weird, man. Like there was a book that hasn't been announced yet from DC. That's a miniseries that I wrote that I'm done writing that hasn't even been announced yet.
Nice.
So there's all kinds of stuff like that, and then I'm starting another new book, 2 new books that haven't been announced yet. There's actually a third that hasn't been announced yet that won't come out for a while. So there's a lot.
Oh my god!
All for
That's
DC.
Great,
yeah, and there's all the creator own stuff too that I'm working on that I'm really excited about. But yeah, every day is a new adventure. Working on.
That's wonderful. That's great though. That's fantastic news. But today I wanted to talk to you because Infinite Frontier #3 is coming out next week, or this week, this Wednesday, this Tuesday, tomorrow.
Yeah, I got my copy already. It's right here.
Oh, good. Oh,
right. Yeah.
Now we've talked about Infinite Frontier. I think you were kind enough to join us on one of our other shows, the Elseworlds Exchange, where you kind of hyped it up. We talked about it, like you kind of explained what Infinite Frontier is all about and where it's going to go. And you teased a couple of scenes that came out, I think, in issue 2, and I was like, oh, I remember this scene. I remember him talking about it. I love how this is like the direction of this series. Where are we going in issue 3?
Oh man, let me look at issue 3.
I
read this stuff, so I had to do I was working on the lettering draft of 5 this morning, and then I was, getting ready for that to go to print this week.
Totally.
So my head is still in that space, and then I'm looking at art for issue 6 because issue 6 is almost finished, and that comes out in September. So issue 3, I'm trying to think what's something really fun in issue 3. Well, issue 3. So one of the things I was trying to do was I was always making sure that every issue kind of had a focus on one of the mysteries, right, or at least one more of a POV. So like issue 2 was really a lot about Cameron Chase, and then issue 3 is a lot about Alan Scott and Obsidian. That's really a big focus there. Issue 4 will be a lot of President Superman, and then we'll go on from there. 5 is a bunch of fighting. There's a lot of fighting in 5.
Sweet.
And actually 5 ends up being the point of view of a lot of 5 is Psycho Pirate, and kind of explaining why he's been doing working with Darkseid and everything there. But with this one, it's really a lot about them and what's going with them trying to find Jade. And then you get some stuff that's kind of JSA type stuff in it. I think that's like the biggest, and some clues as to what's really going on with Roy and the black ring that he has, and sort of, is it why is it working differently than normal black rings that we've seen in the past, and what is it really, and things like that. And that'll build to that mystery of why Roy has a ring, and then what that ring really is. I think people will be surprised where that builds.
That's awesome. I was about to toss out a theory, and I'm like, nope, that's not what it's here for. That's not what we're doing.
Let me hear it. No, come on, let me hear it.
It's that crazy ring that Bendis introduced in Batman Universe.
Oh, no, that was a white ring.
Make any sense?
Dude.
I know, but like it could be anything because it doesn't really jive with any of the continuity for any of the rings. So it could be anything.
Yeah, well, that was funny when I don't remember if that had come out yet. Nick Darrington and I are friends, and he came to my house. I think when he was drawing that stuff, and we were talking about that ring and theorizing and just kind of bouncing around ideas from that.
Yeah,
that's not what led to this, but it did lead to a lot of conversations about the different kinds of rings. And I think with this particular thing, there's a question that's asked in this issue, and that is this black ring even from our multiverse?
Oh my god, I didn't even. I just took that for granted.
Yeah, is it even from Earth Zero? Like, what is it really? And so that kind of starts to domino into other things, what the ring really is.
Yeah,
and you'll get the answer to that in 5 and 6. Like you get like a piece of it going through, and then in 6 you get like the definitive answer.
Awesome.
A lot of cool stuff coming in the book. I think I'm really excited about it. I think people will be really happy with some of the stuff they would reveal and some of the stuff we start showing and some of the stuff we bring back. And then obviously 6 is about catapulting out into the end of this year, the other books that we're doing, and a lot of stuff we're doing next year, and some of the event stuff we're building too. It'll be interesting. Like, this is just act 1 of our big plan that we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what's so exciting, is that like Infinite Frontier could be it. Like, it could be just the whole thing, right? It's like, oh, this really sets up everything, the direction of Psycho Pirate, what's going on with Roy, the Black Lantern ring, all the allusions to different crises, the kind of like quiet identity crisis-esque thing that could be happening right now with Director Bones. And yet it's just like phase 1, act 1 of your master stroke.
Yeah. And I talk to a lot of their creators, and we just kind of compare notes, and we have calls, and just DM with each other and talk about stuff and try to figure out how to make all this stuff really come together. And I think people will be surprised how this stuff sort of scatters out into the DCU after it's over, and then how it just starts carrying through from there. I don't know, without getting too deep into spoilers and ruining stuff, because
of course,
when you work on this stuff so far in advance, you always forget what's out and what's not.
Yes.
And you're like, wait, has that already been announced yet? Has that book been announced? No,
right.
It hasn't. You're like,
man, you guys are, you won't believe the new identity for Extant. And it's like, oh wait, I can't get there.
Oh yeah, just read issue 5.
No, is Extant coming back?
You're talking Extant. I thought you were talking about Extract in the book. No, Extant was in issue 1, and he got yeah, we totally.
That was just one of those things. I was like, oh, you just check, you're checking all the boxes for crises, but I was like, man, whenever anybody pulls one of those '90s relics, I always get a little excited. Like,
I'm always trying to sneak that stuff in there. I'm always trying to sneak all kinds of stuff in, and it's like whenever I can, I have like a list of stuff, and I'm always in those meetings being like, what about this character? What about this person? And that was what's been going on with Infinite Frontier. There's been stuff where like there's one character that I have brought up so many times in the last 5 years and been told no, that now I finally get to use. They haven't been revealed yet. And every time we have a summit, I was like, what about this character? That character hasn't been used in a really long time. They're kind of important. And then and they'd be like, no, that doesn't work here. That doesn't work here. And then I finally was like, oh, I figured it out. So now that character will also be back. It just depends on what's going on. But I'm always trying to sneak in stuff. And even if it's like little 90s references, just to be like, yes, that did happen. Like,
right.
It's still there, like even if I can have a reference to dialogue or just a little piece of something to just be like, yes, this totally did happen, and that story you liked, it is here.
Yeah.
If I can find whatever, and that's what even some of the stuff referenced in Infinite Frontier 3, it's just a kind of, I don't know. Even if I could throw a name out there, like in issue 2, when Mr. Terrific's talking about who already checked in, and he's like, Jack checked in, and that was just me being like, yes, that's Jack Knight. Like, he checked in, just to kind of give people, and me too, because I want to have that stuff in there. So, yeah, it's just fun stuff. It's been really fun lately. A lot of stuff we're pulling in there and just trying to have fun with the books right now.
I'm thrilled, man. I can't wait. I love that you are kind of captaining the ship of Infinite Frontier and heading us towards a bright future for DC. It's an exciting time. It's been a while since I've been like, dude, like, just a bright kind of exciting future that also appreciates where we've been, but also is really interested in where we're going.
Yeah, I think that's really what our focus is. I mean, everybody's really energized and very excited about what we're doing, like internally, talking to the editorial, talking to creators, people are just trying stuff and talking to each other. But I think that was a big part of it, was you can have it, I don't know, I feel like you can have it both ways. You can honor the past and acknowledge all these things and have a foot there, but really you got to move forward, and do some fun stuff. And we've had this conversation before. I can be a bit of a continuity junkie, and I can get caught up in the preciousness of the past at times.
Totally.
But having to slow down and talk to new voices and new creators and just try something different you've never seen before, and just try to just have some fun with it. Have fun with the books and make them fun. That's really my priority.
Good. Well, I think that the work speaks for itself, but the people are enjoying it, and the excitement is there. I'm digging on it, but I'm looking forward to it. Infinite Frontier, we'll be halfway there through Infinite Frontier with number 3 that comes out tomorrow, and then who knows?
Yeah, I know. We'll see. You'll see. There'll be some stuff announced in the next few weeks. You'll start seeing where stuff's going. I think the November and December announcements, and then then we get deeper into next year. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's all kinds of clues out there, and one of the things I think is really fun is when people start speculating, like you were just speculating. It's like, so I try to put stuff out there to let people have something to engage with and speculate on.
I know people hit me up when they were just like, man, can you believe what's up with Psycho Pirate? And I'm like, yeah, like it's awesome. I assume based on just the design of the new suit alone, you were kind of like, this is going to be a big moment.
Yeah, I think so. I just thought it was crazy that no one had ever, since Crisis on Infinite Earths, Barry and Psycho Pirate have not seen each other at all.
No.
Like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it made sense because Psycho Pirate died in Infinite Crisis, and then Barry came back after.
Yeah.
And then once you got into New 52, Psycho Pirate was like a completely different character for a long time. Then he was in Batman.
Yeah.
The closest they ever came was like a little bit in the button, because in Batman
Mask,
he had the mask, but we never really got to get them involved. And it's like, there's such a big part of Crisis on Infinite Earths, you know, especially the first half of that book is the two of them. And it's like, oh, they haven't seen each other. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and putting them together, and then messing with the costume, and then Dan Waters writing the Secret File story, and him being like really into the meta nature of it. And I was like, yes, roll with that. So I've always liked that character. I always thought he was interesting, that he was the only one that remembered.
Yes.
You know, so it was like getting to play with those ideas, that he was the only one that remembered. And yeah. Anyway.
That was one of my favorite things about Psycho Pirate as well. I just love that concept. I love the idea of there being like a member of the universe who remembers everything and is burdened with this kind of like they're an old fan who's like, I'm burdened with the recollection of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what, and he feels that pressure. That's a big part of issue 5. The very beginning of issue 5, he sort of explains, like, you know, he literally says the multiverse is real, and I used to say that, and they locked me up. Like, they put me in a mental institution. I mean, he's not a healthy person, but like, you know, for him to be like, they locked me up and no one would believe me. And now, like, I was telling the truth the whole time, and it's like,
now it's a TikTok challenge. Like,
yeah. Well, also the fact that his Earth 2 is gone, right? Like his Earth 2, even when everything got restored, his Earth 2 is gone. And he's like, so yeah, even though I remember everything, the multiverse is back, my home still isn't here, right? So it's like getting to play with those ideas of explaining why he's pissed off. And then when he makes his sales pitch to people, you have to kind of be like, oh, I guess he's right.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stuff, it is pretty screwed up that no one believed him, even though, like, we knew.
Right.
You know?
But that didn't help.
It didn't help him. No, it doesn't help him at all. Well, the way issue 5 is set up is it's almost like he's talking to the reader at the beginning of it. So anyway, that's enough. That's enough.
All right, fair enough. Anything going on with Robin you want to tease before we go?
Oh, well, this week the issue that comes out tomorrow is him with Ra's al Ghul, and they're training on a beach together for a whole issue. It is it's a lot of fun.
I love really issues.
Yeah, it's just them hanging out. I know it sounds silly, but it's sort of this thing about the two of them, and kind of changing the dynamic of the relationship a bit, and explaining that Ra's al Ghul has kind of gone through some changes the last couple of years after losing. Like, he lost a bunch of times in a row, and so now he's trying to rethink the way he does things. And then suddenly having Damian with him, it's like it causes like a weird dynamic to them at this point, especially when Damian needs training. But he's hurt. He got hurt fighting Connor Hawk. So it's not just getting training of like physical, how, you know, fight people. It's also like, you know, how do you mentally get ready for some of these battles? And that's kind of what Ra's al Ghul starts to teach him in this issue. But yeah, I love writing Robin, and it's fun that we get to have these kind of standalone issues. This is one of them. It's just him and Ra's al Ghul on a beach training to be in a death tournament. So it's been really fun. And then issue 5 is going to be him with all the Robins, with you know, Spoiler and Dick Grayson and Tim and Jason. They have a rooftop race. That's a big time spoiler. They have rooftop race. That's probably one of my favorite parts of issue 5.
Can't wait, man.
The stuff. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for being here.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to more. So stay well.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, man.
You too. Get back to work. I'm gonna get back to work on writing comic books and try to hit these deadlines so these books don't come out late.
Right. All right. Thanks a lot, man. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Williamson, thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you, everybody, for enjoying the show where Josh hypes up Infinite Frontier. If you haven't already checked it out, comes out tomorrow. So you can check it out there. It'll be on our recommendation part of the show as well.
Nice.
Yeah. People were like, where the hell did you go?
I went and ate a Rice Krispie treat.
You know, when in doubt, that is the way to go. Honestly, that's what I usually do when I'm not sure what to do.
I was like, Rice Krispie treat.
They're right there. Why wouldn't I grab one? That's fair.
I basically I sat on the rug and I ate my Rice Krispie treat like I was like in
you were
in
like
preschool.
yeah. Why Try I Sweat says, I know this is silly, but I want to see is DC set up Jarro in the new Suicide Squad movie. A kid can dream. Listen, they've done sillier, weirder things, and if James Gunn has read a single issue of DC Comics in the last 5 years, then he is familiar with Jarro.
Right.
Hell, that'd be a great Mr. Mind-esque post-credits teaser is like in the Batcave. You don't have to show which Batman it is. You just pan to the Batcave, past the dinosaur and the big penny, and you get to the jar, and it like turns around, and he's like, "What are you fucking looking at?" Like that's your line. That's your post-credit scene. Jackson Boyd for a super chat ever.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson. Just wanted to say thank you to and others like Comic Story and Comics Explained for growing my love of comics. You guys rock. He also there's more. Let's see, where did he go?
I also want to say, no, I did not bring enough for everybody.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
But that's why I had it off camera.
Right. That way, not make everybody feel bad. Also, a long time ago, AMDC, you said you loved Invincible until the reboot. Didn't like it either. Wanted to know more of your thoughts on the topic. Sorry. Yeah, I think that Mark Grayson's a coward and a terrible person, and I hate him. Nothing too controversial, just that he's a piece of shit, and that I hate that character after the reboot. I think that he's just a silly little man boy. And I don't care for him. I would not. I don't think it's strong or powerful or impressive, his decisions.
Okay.
So yeah, let's jump into some more books. What else? Oh yeah, we're talking about X-Men.
We were going to talk about X-Men.
We're going to transition into X-Men.
We're going to transition into that, I guess. If everybody wants to do that.
We got to talk about the X. What X books did you do?
We did Marauders number 22 this week by Jerry Duggan with art by Matteo Lally and Klaus Janson.
Wow, Klaus Janson doing some Marvel work. That's cool.
Yeah. So just FYI, everybody, this issue covers some heavy topics.
Oh.
Just as a heads up, if you didn't read it,
I didn't read it.
We're gonna talk about some things here. The scope of this is post Hellfire Gala. This is literally the next night.
The following day. Sorry, the next morning.
Day. It's the next morning.
After the murder?
Yeah.
Oh no.
We're not dealing with that.
I had a feeling.
We're not dealing with that.
We got too much to do.
Emma's at home. She's looking for the cuckoos. They're still on Mars. She's like,
why are you still there?
Are you having a good time? And they're just dancing.
They're like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. But don't forget, they fixed Wilhelmina Kensington, that like Jason Aaron character.
Oh yeah.
From, like Schism.
Right.
They fixed her because,
well, you mean they did some modifications in the egg?
No, in her brain.
Oh, I thought like they resurrected her or something.
No way. She's a jerk. But she's got a reason to be a jerk, as we find out at the end of this book, which again, kind of some heavier topics there. We find out, listen, this is what we find out about Wilhelmina. She's the girls find her clutching a puffin that's dead.
Oh no.
And they're like, I thought we fixed her. And like, she's feeling all of the horrible things she did to animals, and seeing them all too. So it's like kittens and puppies and parrots and just anything and everything. Like, she killed her mom. Like, it's bad news, right?
Yeah,
and it turns out the reason she did these things is because her dad raped her.
Oh, okay.
So we find that out at the end. And so they're gonna go get him.
Cool. Okay.
The cuckoos are like, you want
Oh, well, let's get him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're already like, they're going off the reservation a little bit, but but Mom always said, like, do this type of thing.
Yeah.
So they're taking care of that. Meanwhile, they're clearly going to a council meeting. So like, Emma's ready to go. She's got what looks like a bagel. Yeah, it's a bagel. It's her first carb in like months.
Naturally.
And she runs in to Sebastian Shaw, who's like back.
It's back to normal?
Back up and running.
Oh no.
And
why?
I think that was an agreement they made.
Okay.
But that, like, they've got a lot to talk about, but what he really wants to talk about, he's got something on his mind, and Professor X knows about this, like when they brought him back.
I know what you're thinking.
He wants to bring Lord Chantel back.
Okay.
Lords. You tell me if you want to say that S or not. Who was a character back in the day, part of the Hellfire Club. He was like, they were like in love. She hazarded against the Hellfire Club with like humans in it and stuff, and then like ended up dying to a Sentinel.
Okay.
And like he's like, it's not fair. She should be able to come back, even though Cerebro doesn't have any sort of backup up.
Yeah, what are they gonna make?
He wants to like use like time travel or something to try to send a
Do they have access to time
listen,
travel?
This is his plan. He hasn't like really formulated it, but he wants to try to do it basically without having a real copy.
Right.
He's like, it's not fair. We should bring her back. Blah 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 blah.
Uh-huh.
Emma's like,
no.
Emma's like having a mind conversation with Chuck, and he's like, do you want to tell him or should I?
How are we gonna make this thing go away?
And she's like, okay, I will. So they have their meeting before they're going to go deal with Magneto, which we're not talking about that in this issue.
It would overshadow what's happening in this issue. So.
Yeah. Then we're also going to drag it out a little bit. So they like, she's like, hang back for a minute, man. Let's chat for a second. I know you really want to like bring her back, and like it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and she's like, before you ask why, because she's not dead, honey.
Oh, what?
She's not dead.
Is that like an elaborate lie? Is this like a Hank McCoy-esque situation?
This is like an elaborate lie that like
the Marvel 2-in-1 Fantastic Four thing in Human Torch, where it's like, I know they're dead, but I'll lie and say they're not, so we can go on an adventure, and maybe through the adventure he'll feel better about himself.
No, she's like, I've been carrying this since it happened. Because like we've decided that like here's the story that happened between them in this issue. So what we see is the Klaus Janson arc come in and like reflect the past, and like they're going to have Hellfire Gala. It's the eve of a Hellfire Gala, and like Emma's trying to get into her like famous ridiculous outfit with like the corset, and like she's like trying to get the boot things on.
That's awesome.
And like Lords comes in and she's like I want out. Like, she doesn't want to be in the Hellfire Gala club anymore. Mm-hmm. And like Emma makes a comment about how like it's harder to get out than it was to get in. And it's hard to get in.
Right.
But Lords has a black eye. So Sebastian Shaw has not been good to her.
Yeah.
And so that's what we establish here, that like he's
theming.
Yeah.
Parallels.
Yeah. He's like, he beats on her. He's violent and aggressive towards her, but like loves her. And it's like messed up.
Yeah.
And Emma doesn't say she'll help. And then when the fight's going down with the Sentinels, there's a moment.
Oh, where there's like an opportunity to hide you.
Yeah, and she takes it, and Emma just acts and makes it look like
she died.
She died.
Awesome.
And like
does she project the image of her dying?
She projects all of it.
That's awesome.
And like Lords is like, what are they seeing? What's happening? She's like, just
shut up and leave.
Just stay here. I'll come back.
Right. What a great retcon.
Yeah.
Good call.
So then they go back to the Hellfire Club. They kill all the humans inside. Emma takes a shower.
Naturally.
And she goes back and she's like, I know someone who could help. And like, so she gets in the car and she's like, you're going to have to help, like, repay him with favors. And she's like, I'm really not looking to trade up one Sebastian Shaw for one I don't know. She's like, trust me. And the person she brings him to is Wilson Fisk.
Oh my God. Well, he's not that kind of guy.
No. So she's like, she tells her what she can do. Lords can teleport. And he's like, that's not what I need. I want you to extend your contract with me, because like Emma had worked with him.
Oh, Fisk wants in on the Hellfire Club?
No, he wants Emma to help him fix problems.
Okay.
And so she had been doing that. She had kind of finished out her debt to him.
Okay.
And was like, going to be like, here, this girl can like help. All she needs is a new ID. And so instead he'll give her a new ID, set her up, all that. And all Emma has to do is continue to fix a couple more problems. And that's what they did. Okay. And that's it. And I was like, wow.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. And also, if like other writers wanted to play with that, there are so many retcons you could get out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Emma could have retconned a whole lot of things, but like he's sad about it. Like Sebastian Shaw is obviously
right, because he's complicated. Yeah. But screw him.
Yeah. And he's like, okay. Yeah. So that's what this was. But like, again, it's a lot of like heavier topics in this. Yeah. So
cool.
FYI.
Right.
But like really well written and like very in keeping, like in character with Emma.
Yes.
So
Marauders
number 22.
Good.
Fun to see, obviously like Marauders really has focused on Kitty quite a bit. And I have no problem with that, but like,
no, that's kind of her book, but now it's like, it's evolved.
Yeah, exactly. Especially as we're leading into Magneto and, all that.
And Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk about New Mutants too?
Why not?
While I'm at it. New Mutants number 20 came out, written by Vita Ayala with art by Alex Linz. I miss Rod Rice on this book.
Yeah.
Not that the art's not good. I just miss that style.
Yeah.
Very, very much. I really like this cover.
It's
great.
Like
the arrow.
Yeah.
Of his like shirt and lapel.
Yeah, it's genius.
or like shirt and collar.
Right.
Yeah, I really like. I was like, wow, this is just such a solid, simple cover. It's
Agreed.
really well done.
New Mutants is like the place for Marvel to innovate with cover
Try
design.
new covers. Why not? Don't forget that Gabby's dead.
Yes.
Her friends find her.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, that's very sad.
And it's funny. This entire plot is like, this part of the plot in this book is contingent on children making decisions. And at first I was like, but then I was like, you know what? No, kids make
terrible
really
decisions.
Great decisions or the worst decisions.
Exactly.
So they decide, instead of like two of them were like, we got to tell an adult.
Yeah.
We have to tell an adult. And they're like, screw adults. They don't help us. Like, they didn't let me fix myself when like customers like I wanted to be fixed and they wouldn't let me do that because they say I'm fine, and like no girl's just a brain and they won't bring her back, but they'll do this or that and blah blah. And one of them's like, I don't really think it's that bad, right. But like, yeah, they're like, we should tell someone so that they can bring her back. What if they don't bring her back because they know that she's like, or that they don't know that she's dead?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, she doesn't even know if she can be brought back because she's a clone, blah blah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So they're like, we'll bring her back. We'll do it ourselves.
No.
By using that like brain switching thing.
What?
That like the Shadow King taught us.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like no girl goes into her body to make her be able to, it's like to make her walk around. Dawkins shows up. He's like, hey,
right,
where we been? And like she gives her a really hard time and like calls him out for all his bullshit. He's like, ouch.
Right.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We also see Rain acting very bizarrely, with like people closest to her as she's talking to the Shadow King,
right?
You know, that kind of thing. We're setting up that something like those two groups meet at the end of this,
right?
But yeah, these kids travel to like the egg farm area and go in. They use their powers in order to get in. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, we'll find the Cerebro backups, and then we'll just put her in there.
No, you can't just do it yourself.
They're like, no, we've switched minds before, and so like, what we'll do is we'll do that, but like, we'll switch it so hers stays in her body. That's their plan.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm like, but
yeesh.
That's such like a like, obviously that's like the decision making of children in a group who are like rebelling against adults, but it's also decision making of people under the influence of the Shadow King.
Yeah,
who's like, hey, you guys can do this cool thing. It's
right.
Really...
The last thing we need is to appease this guy. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, New Mutants, nice. I read Moon Knight #1.
Me too.
Great. Let's talk some Moon Knight because everybody's talking about Moon Knight. And who doesn't want to talk about Moon Knight? Because Moon Knight is the new hotness. Because random bullshit go, am I right? Lol, Dracula, you fucking nerd. Moon Knight is a meme. And also a Marvel character with a new show. This is written by Jed MacKay with art by Cappuccio. For a second I thought it said cappuccino. And I'm like, God damn it. This book, I think, does a pretty excellent job. Alessandro Cappuccio, by the way. This is new status quo for Moon Knight, while also like setting up all the Moon Knights. Every version of Moon Knight that you remember or have heard about, because let's face it, you didn't read all of them, are referenced in here and about as accurately. So this is an interesting thing because the book is like good. Moon Knight he's got a new status quo. I'm helping the neighborhood. I'm Daredevil for my area.
For my territory.
Yeah, he's Daredevil. He's Daredeviling Moon Knight.
Because Khonshu has a real thing about this particular area of New York.
Yes, probably this block. But Moon Knight also was a big player in an Avengers arc that like half.
Is it New York? Are they in New York?
They are in New York. Yeah. So that exists. But yeah, basically Moon Knight's like, I'm protecting my people. And also, if you want to join the seminary of Moon Knight, even though my god's a piece of shit, whatever, let's do it. And he uses his various like versions of characters you like to kind of facilitate it. Like Mr. Knight is the front man, the negotiator.
He's the one that goes to therapy.
Right, exactly.
So that we can get a establishment of his backstory.
Yep.
And what is in line with this book.
Yes. Yes. Moon Knight, he fights vampires, he fights vermins, and
All right, I'll give them this. I love the idea of like a vampiric cult being a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
Although at the end of the day, that doesn't really work for me.
No.
It's like then what are you gonna eat?
Right.
If
What are you
it's all
doing?
successful, what are you gonna do?
I know.
Anyway.
But fun idea, cute joke.
Yeah.
And that's what people are expecting because McKay is usually a comedic writer. The standout character, obviously, I think, is his therapist, who's a very interesting person and great design, fun character. I mean, obviously,
I'm looking forward to seeing more of the one vampire who is like his like administrative assistant.
Yes.
But like not.
Right?
Like begrudgingly so.
Yeah. We establish a new villain, Hunter's Moon, who's like more devoted to Khonshu than Moon Knight.
He's got the full moon going.
He's got the full moon. Uh-oh. You know what? Like, this is Moon Knight. Whatever. There's a fun moment that references the Charlie Houston run where he's like, "Don't cut my face off," and I'm like, "That's hilarious." Way to have read the first issue of that run. I like that run best still.
Yeah.
I loved like the first 6 issues of the Warren Ellis run as well. I was like, oh my God. But that had a lot to do with Declan Shalvey's work. And that's kind of it. Wasn't really hooked with Lemire. I was never a fan of Moon Knight pre Charlie Houston. This is my last issue of Moon I'll be reading because I don't care enough, honestly. I just don't care. I'm not pulled in. I recognize that it is a value and that it's interesting and it's setting some things up. There's some fun art. I got to tell you, like, there's a great scene where Moon Knight blasts through a windshield and it is awesome looking. It's great looking.
Yeah. It looks dope.
It looks dope. And that's what this book needs to be. Like, Moon Knight needs to look cool. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing? It's why they had McNiven basically draw like David Finch on this cover. But it's really cool.
I noticed that too.
Right? I'm like, they're like, you got to remember that run that everybody likes. And I'm like, okay, but that's nothing like this. It's nothing like that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, but it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, the art shift is pretty significant between the cover. I mean, there's like 1,000 variants. So you might have gotten a variant.
Yeah, maybe. But the main cover A, is the is the McNiven cover
for sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
His mission is justice.
I heard that.
And in the name of the moon,
and
possibly Khonshu.
He'll punish you. Yeah, this is fine. I don't know about you. I was just like, oh, all right. Well, I'm done.
I mean, I'd probably read another one. Why not?
Yeah, I'll probably forget. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'll probably read another one. And then it's like, oh, Moon Knight too. Like, I'm going through
here's the thing. I'm not looking for like gritty, like
with Moon Knight. I am. That's the Moon Knight I want.
Yeah. But like, I have also no problem with like, sarcastic characters.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
He definitely has that. But
yeah, I'm not really looking for a subversive Moon Knight.
This is, I mean, this is the first issue. Who knows? The next issue might do a better balance of like a
of tone and action, and I mean, like, there's plenty of it to spare, and I don't think that they're doing it just to trick you. I think there'll be a nice balance of character and action, so that's cool. Mr. Roboto, whatever happened to Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways? I don't know. Nobody wants to write about them, I guess. Kali Frederick, Superman R&B was maybe one of my favorite single issues. Yes, Red and Blue number 5.
You picked that up in physical.
I did buy it. Daniel Warren Johnson did a story about John, not the boy, but Clark's dad.
Not the boy
who's replaced Superman in all the books because, like, for some reason DC like hates Superman. But yeah,
Red Pocket.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
That's nice.
Mr. Roboto, is Gold Balls officially the Jubilee and Vampire? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
But no, he's definitely not that. He is, however, part of the 5.
But he's called Egg now.
He's not Gold Balls. You're living in the past, man. So yeah,
he is Egg.
But yeah, as far as Moon Knight's concerned, I recommend it if you were like, oh man, I love Moon Knight, or I want to love Moon Knight. Yeah, you'll enjoy it probably. If you don't, whatever. Supergirl number 2 came out from Tom King and Bilquis Evely. Yeah, you want to talk about it?
I like reading these words. I know that sounds like a really trite and silly thing to say, but these
go on the cover. I like reading these words, Tiffany, Comic Pop.
2021.
If you don't do that, DC, you're cowards. I mean, I do too.
Oh my, no,
I see what you're saying.
Very specifically, the fact that like Ruth's
Yeah, Ruth's dialogue
is like intensive, and there's a lot of it, and I love reading it.
Yeah.
I love reading it.
I find that it's exactly the same as last time. Remember when I was like, there were moments where I'm like, okay, well, I could probably skip this.
Yeah.
I don't really need to read this. Where I just when I'm about to be sick of it, it switches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you.
It
feels like homework.
I get such a kick out of it because, like, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot of interaction between this character and Supergirl. And I could imagine Supergirl's like, tone it down.
Oh my God, this girl. Yeah,
down.
exactly.
So, like, I really appreciate that. It's not like everyone around her is like, this is fine.
Right.
Everyone around her is
perfectly
like,
normal.
Everyone's like, what?
No one has the patience to put up with her, including me. But I know it's deliberate and it's intentional. And like I said, like it's actually like really well written in terms of like just when I'm enough.
Yep.
We get to a dialogue scene. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because she narrates the entire series.
Yeah, but I very much like it. But I also like Sandman.
Right.
You know, like a flowery narrative filled with, like, you know, words put together in ways that you're not used to seeing.
Right.
And I like that. I'm okay with that. So that is very much up my alley. The art for this continues to astound.
Yep. Bilquis Evely's capture of Supergirl makes, not that her art is effortless, it is, but that Supergirl looks like, you know, like she weighs 10 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she just floats through sequences.
Yep.
And has no trouble.
Yeah.
All the trouble's up here, as evidenced by Ruth's innocent question about avenging the death of Krypton.
Yeah.
By the way, great stuff. You know, I love King was on Twitter. He was like, you know, I have access to like worlds and, you know, all this stuff, and I do anything. And I was like, draw a space bus. And I'm like, I mean, she does, and it looks great. It's one of those things where, like, I think King and I have ridden public transit a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel because he in his Up in the Sky, he has that moment where Clark's waiting to use the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clearly actually for him as like a soldier waiting to call home. But for me, like living in like Virginia, you know, going to Greyhound and being like just trying to reach anybody pre-decent cell phone service, you know, it was I'm like, I get you, you know, and like I know what it feels like to ride on a gross, horrible bus for way too many hours surrounded by the dregs of humanity. Like it's just like solid.
Yeah. What I like about that too, in particular, having a quote unquote space bus, because look, that's what he calls it, is it gives us something that we can attach to.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not just like draw the most esoteric, just like hard to imagine thing you can think of that they ride.
Yeah.
Like that's Supergirl ship. It looks like a spaceship. It doesn't look like anything. We saw it for like 1 or 2 panels in the first issue. Now we're dealing with like space diners, space rest stops, space buses, space dragons, space phoenixes.
Yeah. I love this panel. I want a print of this one panel as like she finds out that that they're all gonna die.
Yeah, bummer.
I'm like, yeah. So this is a solid issue. This issue made me think for a minute. I missed an issue when I first started reading it, and then I was like, hang on, let me just keep going. I didn't. Let's just see how this goes, because obviously we leave off on quite the cliffhanger from issue 1 in terms of injuries taken by Supergirl and Crypto as well. And the fact that like we start this issue and we're just on this bus. And so for me, I was like, okay, I know this is issue 2.
Right.
So let me just keep going. Like, what happened here? More importantly, where's Crypto?
Yeah.
We do find out at the end where Crypto is. And I have to assume it's a Kryptonian sleeping coma.
Me too.
Because if it's not,
then what the fuck? No, I agree. I think it is. I think it is.
Then I won't be saying hello to Tom King at the Baltimore Comic-Con.
We will not be lunching with Tom King at Baltimore Comic-Con if indeed he killed Crypto in as unceremonious a fashion as he did every character created in the 90s that he killed in Heroes in Crisis. Yeah, no. But
I made that joke about does the dog die? And then I was like,
no, they're not gonna kill Crypto.
But like, I will say, like, the first issue gets you in with like, what is this? This is new. It's very different. You know, we're kind of getting to know these characters, right? Cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
This issue, you're like, what the hell happened in between? You're getting a little bit more backstory to Ruth. You're getting a little bit more just like world building and universe establishment. And then the end of this issue, like I'm on their quest with them. We do have to get vengeance.
Yeah.
Not for this girl's dad.
No.
I don't care.
For this dog.
Literally don't care about this girl's dad anymore.
But it could have been Streaky. Yeah. See? But it is super sad. We also get beautiful sequences like a allusion to the Peter David Supergirl Phoenix whatever the hell thing. It's cool.
Yeah, it is dope.
Yep, the art's just amazing.
I love the idea that they're like, red Krypton pills.
Yeah, right.
That
what
people take to like relax.
Yeah, it's cool. The hand washing sequence overall, it's a great issue. It's a good book, and it's like
it's sad.
It's very sad.
It's sad.
Who'd have thought?
It's sweet, but like the end of that issue, like I was like, yep.
Yep, let's go.
Yeah, we're doing this now.
Yeah,
I guess we'll also avenge your dad, but
yeah, sure, whoever the hell he was.
That's not what we're here. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm avenging anymore.
No. But I think I'm still holding out hope. Sleeping coma. Kryptonians go into them.
They literally say they had to put it down.
I know.
I'm like,
what does that mean? Yeah, we'll see.
That's that boat sequence.
Yeah,
so sad.
Whoa.
Anyway,
Mr. Roboto also asked idea for comic Jubilee Vampire single at Mom X-Man. They did that already, and
but she is a single mom now.
She's still a single mom,
her baby's a dragon when they go to other worlds.
Yeah, so you got that going for you.
Get that. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Grievoushish says, I think the retcon of Mark having DID is a really interesting spin on his alternate identities, and I'm glad it's being kept in. And I'm really glad Jed didn't take the low-hanging fruit of a nod to the memes. Me too, but it's an ongoing series, so who knows what will happen. Alex Cash, I am also enjoying reading the words.
Listen. You asked me what I thought of it, and that was my brain was like, say this.
Say this.
Say this is how you feel.
Nick Smith, the fact that Hamill said he based Skeletor's voice on 50s actress Tallulah Bankhead makes a hilarious amount of sense, and I love the show for it.
I had to look that up. I had to look that up. I was like, what does that sound like?
Julian Lozano reading JL Dark by Tynan. It's great. Thanks, Tiffany. Got any other cool comics that involve magic?
Do I got any more cool comics that involve magic? You know I do. You could pick up the Magic Order by Mark Miller. It's just a graphic. It's not a graphic novel, but you trade. You can pick it up. But they are doing a sequel to it, so you could check that out. It's a modern day magical family kind of thing. A lot of crazy looking stuff. It is a little on the rated M for mature side, so keep an eye out on that one. You could also check out, of course, Once and Future. Solid book. Leans a little less into the magic and a little bit more into Arthurian lore, but the art is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
So just for starters.
That's right. I read Sinister War #1 of 4. It is the new event from Nick Spencer with art by Mark Bagley. This, it converges all of the Spider-Man villains who have been on teams with the word sinister in them. I thought it was going to be one of those weirdo events that's let's pretend all the things I've been leading up to aren't happening and just do this now. And it's not. It's actually answering everything. Opening page, Doctor Strange and Mephisto. And they're talking about the one more day deal.
Sure.
And Mephisto basically is oh, I'll play you a game of chance for a soul, or at least some information. And so they're gonna play craps or some shit. I don't know, but who cares? That's the new fetish that Mephisto's got going on. Sometimes he's a fly trap with big boobs. Other times he looks like the devil. Now he's a casino connoisseur. He's let's play games of chance. So that's happening. Also Kindred. Also the Sinister Six. Also Mary Jane. Also the engagement. This is the end.
He better watch out for Dale Cooper then.
Yes, he should. He's a shark.
He's Mr. Jackpots.
Seeing all of Spider-Man's villains drawn by Mark Bagley reminded me of that awesome card set that Mark Bagley drew for Spider-Man, where he drew every single villain that Spider-Man ever had.
Sure.
And it's a lot of fun, and it's just a fun series. This is a fun event. It's got a lot of cool shit in it. I'm excited to read more, and I hope it goes well. It's cool stuff. Keep it up. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff all around. I enjoyed it.
Did you like reading the words?
I enjoyed reading the words, but I enjoyed that the words made the pictures do the things that I want to see. Joey Amorim says, I've been a bit on a Fantastic Four binge lately, currently working through the Lee and Kirby run, and it may be recency bias, but I think they're becoming my favorite super team. Do you guys think Slott's run is worth picking up? I think he's trying to like hearken to that era. I think if you were to read the next, like if you were to read Lee and Ditko and then Lee and Kirby's run and then read Slott's, you'd see a lot of similarities or at least a lot of homages. Slott has a lot of reference for Stan and his work. But honestly, I'd read the Byrne run.
What about the Hickman run?
The Hickman run is also awesome, but it's totally different. It's not the same thing. Like it's just something else.
Right.
But it's also awesome, but it's like I'd read that like last.
There you go.
Because arguably the Fantastic Four have never been better than the Hickman run.
Mm-hmm.
They never really like led up to anything else except for that. But yeah, no, I also found myself as I got older enjoying Fantastic Four more. Maybe because they're a family, I don't know. But yeah. Did you read Superman and the Authority?
I didn't.
From Grant Morrison and Mikkel Yennin. This was the #1 book on Comixology.
Nice.
And I have no idea what the hell's happening because I don't know if it's in continuity or not. But you know what? It's pretty cool for what it is. It's a 4-issue miniseries that really helped because when I was reading it, I'm like, I don't know what the hell DC's doing with Superman. You know, like they had a good thing going. I know it sounds like a broken record, but so does other people. Like when it comes to like, why did they just ruin Tomasi and Gleason? Like everyone liked what they were doing. Just do what they were doing. Just keep it going. How many did we get? Like what, 2 years maybe max out of that run? And it's like, let's do anything else. Like let's make Superman, but like not Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But Grant Morrison can help themselves. Of course, it's going to be Superman. But like just the use of the Kingdom Come symbol, it's like it's so entrenched and ensconced in that one thing. How dare you use it for something else? But it's Morrison, so of course you know they're gonna like go in some like connected tangent that'll go into another reality or dimension because they took shrooms right before they wrote it. But ultimately, you know, it's Superman enlists Manchester Black, and they're gonna save the world. What time period it take place in? I don't know, and no one does except for Grant. So check it out. It's a fun book. It's like the fact that it's a 4-issue mini says to me, just buckle up. Like if you like the idea alone,
that's got to go fast.
It's going to go real fast. And there's going to be, every issue is going to be so dense. So much is going to be going on. So I think it's worth picking up only for the fact that like you're going to be reading a Grant Morrison tome where they get to talk about Superman again.
Right.
You know, it's like, I'm not done talking about Superman. Here we go. So it's going to be fun, I guess.
Okay.
Legitimately, I was like, fuck this book until I saw it was a 4-issue miniseries. I'm like, oh, good. It'll be over. Like, it's not a thing. They're not trying to turn it into like an ongoing. This is the new status quo for Superman. Remember my Action Comics, which was weird and bad, but not also bad, but also good? Like, no, this is just something else. So cool. Like, keep it up. You know what? Try new things. Plus, I want to see Superman interact with like Midnight and Apollo.
There you go.
Like, wouldn't that be cool?
I also, when we were talking about the Magic books before,
yeah.
My brain should have also said, like, if you like Justice League Dark, then you might want to go back and pick up some of the other runs on Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
Or you could go grab some Hellblazer.
Why not?
From back, like, go start with the Delano stuff.
Yeah.
Or you could just go for Grant.
Or
not Grant,
Garth.
for Garth. Jesus.
So many.
Every time, like, if you get that name in my head, I'm like,
I know.
That's the name.
I wrote everything.
It's the G sound.
It is. It's the G, and they're from the Isles.
Yeah, the Isles, but not the same Isles.
Yeah.
Not the same Isle?
No.
Okay.
No,
anyway.
no. One's a Scot and one's a Irishman.
I know. Very different.
But they did work, but they do like killing British people.
Sure. I'm just saying though, like you could
I get to kill many Brits.
If you
Fast enough to get a dagger past you, old man.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen.
It's my island. Anyway, Grievous the new ComicPop slogan: we read the words and look at the pictures.
That's it.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
No, it's true.
We don't lie.
New
That's
T-shirt coming to your face.
I like that. Kevon, the original, why does Hank get so much hate for hitting Janet when Peter hit MJ in continuity? Because it was in the Clone Saga and Peter Parker's the Mickey Mouse of Spider-Man. That's why. Yeah. And then I think is there one more book?
Nope.
Good. Then we're done. Let's talk
Thanks
about
for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, no. We're going to talk about Motu.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Motor.
Master of the Universe Revelation. Motor. Yeah. Motor.
Motorheads.
People who love this show. We're going to call them Motorheads. That's going to stick. So here's the thing. Let's talk about, we got to watch the whole show. And when I say got to, I mean like everybody else did. We watched the whole show, like most of you. And before we watched the show, obviously we saw all the YouTube videos talking about how it's the end of the world. And indeed, this show does destroy everything. It destroys the fabric of reality. Genders are being swapped across the world. Your mother's your dad. Cats and dogs living together. Frogs falling from the sky. It's the end of the world. It's the end times because Teal is a main character.
Oh, you better.
So be good, for goodness sake.
He's coming.
But yeah, no. You said it best, I think, when we were watching it. So please do.
I don't know if I'm going to capture what I said originally.
Just be on.
We were watching this, and I was like, boy, if I were a really big fan of He-Man, I would be really upset right now.
Exactly.
That said, I'm not a huge fan of He-Man, so I wasn't.
Right. And here's the thing, is that it's called Masters of the Universe Revelations.
They
were so clever.
All technicalities.
Yep. It's technically not a He-Man show.
Technically not.
But it is.
Listen,
it's
it is. It's supposed to be a He-Man show, and I'll be honest, listen, folks who were expecting a He-Man show, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Because you really didn't get a He-Man show. And while it does take place in that universe.
And uses all the same characters.
And we do have flashbacks and stuff like that. At its core, it's it's about him, but it's not about him.
Right.
And that's not fair in a way to sell it that way.
And that's the thing, is that if they had been upfront about it from the beginning, where they're like, it's not a He-Man show.
Yeah.
Or it is a He-Man show through the lens of a different character. Or we're doing a different thing with Masters of the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
They've been upfront about it. I don't think people would have still been outraged, because some people are professionally outraged, need to get paid. But for everybody else who watches these kinds of things, I think that you might not have been quite as upset if you had been told that at the start of things, it's He-Man's not going to be the focal point, or he's going to be more of a MacGuffin, he's a driving force. And I think that's from the perspective of a person who absolutely never watched He-Man as a kid, because I did watch He-Man. I know Kevin Smith didn't. And I know this because I've heard him in interviews and stuff well before this. If you ever want to know what Kevin Smith thinks about 80s cartoons, watch Clerks 2, because he has no regard for Transformers, and he has Elias be the Transformers character. And I remember in one of the commentaries, he's like, I don't care about Transformers. I was too old. And it's yeah, if you were too old for Transformers, then you were too old for Masters of the Universe. There's no way you're watching it. Look, I get it. I get not liking He-Man. I've watched old episodes of He-Man, and the show is effing boring. It is. It's boring, and it's trite, and it's not terribly engaging, and I'm sorry. And the best stories that you've ever seen from Masters of the Universe are the action figure stories that you told yourself. Those toys are friggin' baller and banger. For me as a kid, as a young child, my favorite thing about Masters of the Universe was the action figures and the art on the box / comic books it came with. The cartoon was secondary at best.
It was a commercial.
It was a commercial. It was a toy commercial. It was here's what you could do with those toys. Fair enough. He-Man isn't very engaging. He's one-dimensional. What does he do? He's Dudley Do-Right. He's good. He's a do-gooder. For a person who's trying to get a second, third life in their career as a producer, as a writer, as a director, I get I get being bored by the idea of telling a story from the perspective of He-Man. Especially if you never grew up with him and you don't care about that show, and you're getting this property and you're like, I'm going to watch a couple episodes. You're like, wow, I couldn't care less about what Prince Adam or He-Man is up to. So from a technical standpoint, I get where they're coming from with the show. And again, like you said, if it was more direct, I think people wouldn't have as much of an argument to make. They might be upset, they might be disappointed, they might not be getting the show they want, but at the same time, it's also not what they were advertised. They were sold a show about He-Man, and I think He-Man will show up at the end, and we're going to get some He-Man. I do think you're going to get some epic He-Man stuff, as you do in flashbacks, but ultimately, it's not about He-Man, or at the very least, it's not about He-Man from his perspective.
Right.
And that's and you take what you will from that.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about He-Man, or if you only know about He-Man from pop culture, or if you watch the show and you hated it, you might like the show because it is technically well constructed. The episodes themselves are written with a TV serialized format. It's not written for Netflix. I mean, it is, because it's all one, it's 5 episodes and it reads in one thing, but each episode has its own like structure.
Yeah.
You know, it's each episode its own 3-act structure. It's not like it's just like one long episode they deliberately cut into 5 parts. It may be that way, but like also the episodes themselves are constructed like episodes. So like you could just watch 1 or 2, but you might as well watch all of it because who cares?
It's short.
Because it's so short. And thank God.
Yeah, there are a couple of episodes where it felt very like cliche.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like,
well, and that's what gives me hope.
But like that's what makes me feel like it doesn't feel like it's like a Netflix thing where it's almost like one movie. It's not.
No.
Like, it's like, oh, you can watch the episode, you can watch that episode. I guess.
Exactly.
I mean, it does follow narrative from like one episode to the next. Like where they leave off is where they go from, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like, it is what it is. My only other like major complaint about this is I kind of wish some of the voice actors did a little something different with their voices.
Really?
A couple of them are just themselves.
Yes. There are a couple that are really doing some great stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know it was Justin Long.
No, I actually, for some reason, thought, I was like, is that Clank from Ratchet and Clank? And we're like, no, it's not.
Would have been
it's
great.
Not at all him. But, you know, and like Alan Oppenheimer's in it. And like, that's a nice little nod.
I think it's criminally underutilized.
I think it's criminally underutilized as well, but he's also an older guy. Maybe that's what he could do.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to.
Yeah. But we've met Alan Oppenheimer. Not only is he
that was
spry.
some years ago.
That was actually, it was like 10 years ago. But like,
but
he did the interview and he could still do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
If he got to be Skeletor again. Because Alan Oppenheimer plays memes 40 years before they were invented. Like Skeletor is a joke. What? Like he's just a joke.
Yes, no.
And it'd be kind of cool to give him agency. I love Mark Hamill.
But he is very like, I know he said he was doing like he's trying these different things.
He's doing these different things, and he is.
He is, but very much mostly you hear the Joker.
I'm hearing Ozai.
I guess a little bit. I really was like,
it's actually more like Arkham Joker.
I heard Joker more than anything else, and I was like, okay, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Because
what are you gonna do?
I feel like Sarah Michelle Gellar,
it's just weakest
her.
link.
It's just her. Like she's not
giving anything.
She's an actress. She's not necessarily a voice actress, and so like, and that's a very different skill set. That said, I'm going to give a pass to one person who's very much doing the same thing, but she gets a pass in my book because Lena Headey is just
it's just a treasure.
I just love her so much.
Lena Headey is playing Lena Headey, but she is playing, but she swings for the fences as Lena Headey in everything she is. So like, who cares, right? Plus, it's like, another role for Lena Headey. Excellent.
Yeah,
good.
I just
she
like
deserves
her
it
very much.
Yeah,
I wish she was my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, but Sarah Michelle Gellar, it's like that's just Buffy.
It's just Buffy. It's just that's what it is.
Yeah, but the dude who plays He-Man's good. I love Orko. He played Arthur from the live action Tick show from Amazon, I think. I love him. I think he did a great job. Kevin Conroy is also just doing a Batman voice for Merman. But hilarious. Who cares? Like I'm not like I wasn't like justice for Merman. I was like, it's friggin' Kevin Conroy. That's fun.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear who played, Prince Adam's mom.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was like, what? When we saw the credits, I was surprised by that one.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't recognize her voice at all.
No, star-studded cast, you might say.
Yeah, for sure.
For no good reason. Like, and that's the thing is like, why? Like, why bother? Like, you could get some really stellar voice actors and then like use the money elsewhere. I don't know, especially with Tila. Because like, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
She has so many dishwashing detergent commercials to do. But no, ultimately, the journey that they go on, like, was it tedious in the first 2 episodes where Tila's like, I'm mad. Yeah. Like, but like, I get over it. Oh, Scareglow.
Oh my God.
Biggest surprise. Also, Candyman.
Yeah.
Dope.
We heard that voice. I was like, oh no.
Oh, I know that voice.
I know that voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Candyman spielen.
Yeah, all the Kindes go into the room and say the name 5 times. And he comes out and gives them treats. But yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Ultimately, I like the show in well enough. Like, as it is, as a product of its own thing. It's like, is it fun to see? Like, oh, look, it's Trapjaw. Oh, look, it's whatever is. What'd you call?
I called him Eyesore.
I'm like, oh, Triclops. You're like, Eyesore. They should have brought out Eyeballs. He has eyes where his testicles should be. It's weird they didn't bring him back. But yeah, Ultimately, it's a show. Like it's a show that's it's a show and it's a toy commercial because there are new Motorhead toys for you fans, for you Motorheads out there. But you know, I ultimately like the end, the climax of part 1. I was like, yeah, that's what I mean. We've all wanted to see that. Like, why wouldn't he?
Yeah,
I'm dope.
You know what's funny is like my because obviously I think there was some focus that they hadn't had a chance to see it, so we're obviously not going to spoil anything. But like at the end, there's a moment that I'm sure a lot of folk were like, "What would happen?"
Right.
And like for me, that was so like out of left field because it felt like the show hadn't been catering.
No, it's like
that. However,
that is the show.
However, then when I'm thinking back to Scareglow, and I'm like, it's there.
Yeah,
it's there a little bit that like we were leading to that, but that to me felt so out of left field. But now thinking back on it, I'm like, okay,
yeah, all right. And that's the thing. Like, I think that we got a lot of like Tila and like the build up and a world without He-Man for part 1 because there is going to be a part 2. And, you know, Adam's here, you know, and like, I think there's going to be, I think there's going to be more He-Man, but like, I don't really care about He-Man, you know, like, I'm not like, oh man, how come, when is He-Man going to come in and, you know, tell me about what drugs are all about, you know?
He doesn't know. He's going to tell you not to take them. That's what they're all about.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh, because I didn't know about drugs until He-Man told me they existed. But like, yeah.
Someone pointed out, we caught that too, that King Grayskull is the Allstate guy.
Yeah, that's weak. I hate him.
That actor?
I do.
I like his voice quite a bit. I get it. I like his voice. Unfortunately, now he's associated
with the Allstate.
Allstate. I do like his voice, and I'm like, damn it.
I think I might have liked his voice without it being Allstate.
I think it's just that association. It's like, oh,
yeah,
you could have done some cool stuff. You know what they could have gotten? Keith David.
Yes. Now maybe they're waiting, but like, why? Why would you wait when you have Keith David? So which means there's no way they have him.
He's like, I do it.
Yeah, of course he would.
You know Keith is a big fan of the show. Hey,
yeah. Hey, Keith, by the way, come on. I invited you on the show a couple of years ago. Why didn't you answer me?
Yeah, the Sailor Moon transformation was
fun. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He-Man's a magical girl, right, Tiffany?
Excuse me. She-Ra is a magical girl.
So is He-Man. Look at that hair. Yeah. No, but yeah, you here's the thing. You have another complaint. So okay. At the end of the day, the show's fine. Like whatever, who cares? It's not the end of the world. And you know what? You got like vehicles and crap and the castle and stuff. Wonder Woman as the sorceress. Great idea. You know, ultimately it's fine. I was entertained. At no point was I like defy and turned it off. But you know, more than 5 episodes would have been a little much. Like it was 23 minutes each episode, 5 episodes. I'm like, that's not bad. That's not bad. But you have a more general issue with the Masters of the Universe franchise, and I want to hear it.
I do.
Yeah.
Is it the what happens at the end and what might happen?
No.
Oh no. What is it?
It's about their exclusion and weird like compartmentalization of the Atom sisters.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is like I'm like over here like I don't really care about one side, but like I watched a lot more She-Ra than anything else, right? And like, you know, so like I am gonna be like, hey, why? Like I know there's technically another show out there, but like, and
right, but it's not connected.
Totally different genre, has nothing to do with this, right? They're clearly setting some stuff up here. It's like you could, this just makes sense. Like I don't want to spoil anything, but like you could easily at the end of the show just be like, you got to go get the other one,
right? There is another. That's the Empire Strikes Back of the He-Man franchise, and you have to go.
And like that's what the next season should be.
Yeah.
Then fine, like just combine them.
We need to get in a spaceship. We got to go to Etheria.
Yeah, you got to go deal with a Hordak. That'll be fun.
That'd be so awesome.
His arm turns into a gun or a vacuum, depending on what he needs.
That's the thing. That's utilitarian. But yeah, that would be so cool. Uh-oh. Here, keep talking about She-Ra.
Oh no. So if you want to know where Sal went, let me tell you guys a little something. This week, Sal and I are probably going to be moving a whole bunch of the library and ComicPop into another room, and we have an IKEA shelf coming, and I think he just got a call from them. Hopefully not saying it's coming today, because it's supposed to be coming tomorrow. But anyway, so essentially my deal is like, while I'm like, don't pay attention to like, you know, if you're worrying about the lore here, I'm afraid they're leading up to changing some stuff with the other lore, which I really can't. Like, listen, if I can't like say that like one side of the lore is as important, then they can just drop it all. It's fine. But like, it just feels very obvious to me the way that they were writing this arc or this half of a season, because my understanding is it's kind of like a half a season, like the way Rick and Morty does it, where it's like half season now, half season later. But overall, I it was fine. I really didn't have much in the way of complaints about it, and I felt as though a lot of the story beats felt obvious.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that like it's not being that subversive at the end of the day.
No, it's so funny because it's like at the very beginning, you get like your classic kind of battle going on, and like Evil Lynn is there, and like I didn't really like catch. Like I remembered it was Lena Headey, but only later.
Right.
But like I didn't really like cue into her voice at all. And later on, when we run into this mysterious older character who has Lena Headey's voice, I'm like, oh, it's
oh,
like, I
that's
don't think it's supposed to necessarily trick you in that way. The biggest trick, of course, was kind of crafting a trailer that made it seem like
it was a He-Man show. And I mean, like ultimately, it is a He-Man show because he's in every episode.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Though.
But who cares? Like, yeah.
But like that's that's either a really incredible trailer cutter,
right,
or a really bad one, depending on
or deliberately deceptive one.
Yeah, and like that's not cool.
No,
that's just not a cool thing to do, regardless of
well, and I get like the idea of being like, well, they're not going to accept it if we don't trick them, and I'm like, that's like selling your audience kind of short, don't you think? But I don't know. I have no real complaint about the show outside of it being like a little silly, but like it's supposed to be. It's for children. Like it really kind of still is for children.
Yeah.
Like kids can handle any of the violence or gore. What were they rating?
It was gore and fear. It's like the Netflix thing was like fear, gore, and I'm like,
oh no,
what? There's
fear in this show. Turn off.
I'm more worried about the fear than the gore. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. But so pitch for season for part 2. They have to get in a spaceship, go to Etheria. They meet all of She-Ra's cast members.
I don't think that's what they're going to do, even remotely.
Hell, merge universes, merge the worlds, like squeeze Etheria and Eternia into one planet.
Yeah,
and then just own it, because it, as a continuity like fan, I'm just kind of like, you mean to tell me that like Prince Adam and and Princess Adora are brother and sister? And they're on 2 different planets.
Yeah.
And they both do it for Grayskull. Come on, like put it together. You know what I mean? Like don't shy away from it. You got this rich universe. I mean, don't you want to see Orko and Cowl?
Well, yeah, that might. Yeah.
Don't you want Madame Raz to meet the sorceress and augment her powers with whatever the hell she's got going on?
Not really.
But yeah, who cares at the end of the day? Like, really? Like, it doesn't change anything about He-Man.
I would also say there are some really great looking animation sequences and some really not great looking animation sequences.
No.
Like, it's like...
That's true.
For being only 5 episodes, like, the animation, I feel like, should have been more consistent.
Yeah. I wasn't really that pulled out by it.
You know what it is? It's because like there are some sequences that are like better done.
Yes.
And so like it really makes everything else around it
That's
not
true.
So great.
And the vehicles, every vehicle has to be CG. That's the case with DC animated movies. And they look terrible.
But they didn't do such a great job of integrating it.
No,
like
it looks real bad.
Some animation houses do a really nice job of like trying to integrate that and make it look natural. And I just didn't have that feeling whatsoever.
No, but I do, it's funny. Like I'm going to give them a pass only because like it's Powerhouse Animation Studios and like it's a group of like 5 guys. Like it's not like a massive group.
Right.
And I've worked with them before, and I know they're capable of great stuff. But like they're like a small, they're not like a big studio. It's just kind of like the fact they were capable of making it, because they used to be like a Flash animation studio, and now they're making this show, and like the show is fluid animation. I'm like, all right, looks good to me. Looks better than the Filmation shit, I gotta tell you. I mean, at least the characters have different angles.
Again, those were commercials.
So's this.
Kinda.
But it's fine. Joey Amorum says, speaking of Hickman, I pre-ordered both omnibuses for his run. I'm super pumped to read them. Well, nice. Super Joe helping us out. Thanks, Super Joe.
Thank you very much.
Adam Thenhala says, if we're Motorheads, let's call Kevin Smith Lemmy. Nice, because he's God. RK, since Ray is a Black Lantern now, how would you feel about a return of White Lantern Kyle Ray. Yeah, I said Ray. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Ray. Roy is a Black Lantern. How would you feel about the return of White Lantern Kyle as a White Lantern? Sounds great. That's a great idea. Do it. I think you're right. I think you're heading towards what Josh is thinking. Javon Green. I was going to watch Motor because it reminded me of the 2011 Thundercats cartoon, but I heard about the controversy. Is it still worth watching? I say yes. I say give it a try. 23 minutes per episode, 5 episodes. I say give it two or 3 episodes. Give it a try.
Yeah, you can see how you feel about it.
Yeah. Sean Conwell, the 2002 reboot of Modu was a much better than this. Smith shouldn't have lied about it. Teela's role and not pissed so many people off. Probably would have been more forgiving. That said, great voice cast. Right. Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing is if it maybe like those who are super angry wouldn't have been quite as angry if they weren't like, if they didn't feel like they were lied to.
Yeah.
RK typo with the last message since Roy's back. Yes, I answered your question. Thank you, man. Flywheel Shyster. My brother agrees, but I'll finish it. He called it a post-battle side quest, though. I have no opinion and don't plan on watching it myself. Coke Zero, cheers. Cheers to you too, man.
It is. I'd say it's like I wouldn't say post-battle. I would say there are plenty of like RPG and JRPGs which start with an opening similar to this, and then your ragtag group have to get the band back together to accomplish a goal.
Yeah, I've seen this story 1,000 times.
I'd say that's actually pretty mainstream quest line.
Agreed.
Although they often go on side quests.
No, big
especially if I'm playing. It's just you got to make a decision, Tiffany, at the gate. We're either doing side quests or we're never touching them.
That's right. Mr. Roboto, how about a ComicPop comic for the fans? Only you would read it. I'm sorry. And let's just catch up, make sure we're all good here because I want to get to some recommendations, some comics we think you should pick up this week.
We do think you should pick up some comics this week based on all those tabs we have.
Yeah, you'll see those tabs. Spike 220, my older brother and I grew up with the original, and I was in high school when the reboot came out. So I enjoyed it, though I was disappointed with the show, though we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that you'll see where it goes. I hope it's fun. Like, I hope part 2 like ups the ante.
Yeah. I think they would need to.
They'd really need to. And I'm telling you, the best ante is in Etheria. Scarlet Hottie, the only good part of Monday is off the rack. I wonder if Renaissance Fellas had an equivalent to this show. I don't know. But thank you, man.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, right? That'd be dope.
Well, thank you so much.
And This Is Nathan variety show, season 2, She-Ra hears of her brother's death and goes on a rampage against Skeletor. Season 3, Thundercats. Dude, please, any crossovers, I'm down.
Here's what's interesting about that is like based on this stupid Christmas special.
Oh my god,
that like Skeletor and Hordak have like
they have a rivalry.
Yeah, so Hordak could be like,
there's a history there.
I'm with you guys.
Yeah, I'm taking down this idiot.
This is bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
in.
He's master of the universe. No. Hordak is way scary.
Hang on, I got my vacuum. I'm gonna clean this mess up.
Yeah, time to clean up after Skeletor. Let's talk about some books. So here's some recommendations for books that are coming out we think you should pick up. Tiffany, take it away.
Oh man. All right. Wonder Woman number 776 is coming out. I was like 1776. It was what my brain wanted to say.
Great. She goes to the Proto-America and teams up with George Washington.
This is continuing Diana's quest to figure out what happened to the gods.
Right.
What's happening? We're
gonna find out.
Yeah. So Miranda Task is with her. So I'm down. I'm gonna continue on this journey with her until I don't care anymore.
Right.
Wolverine number 14 is coming out. Sword number 7 is coming out. I also forgot to put Cable on there. Cable's also coming out. I just didn't grab it. Something's Killing Children number 18. Eternals number 6. We're getting close.
Yep.
Super excited. And I also want to give a shout out to Shang-Chi number 3. I've read Shang-Chi number 1 and 2. I didn't get a chance to talk about number 2.
No,
we took a break.
Because we took a break from the last week.
Vacation.
Yeah.
There was a month ago.
Oh.
I think it was actually 4th of July.
But
I read it. Had to do Captain America. This time looks like Wolverine, so I'm gonna check it out.
Cool.
Why not?
I'm going to
also Batman Reptilian number 2 is coming out. I gotta read this. Silly book written by Garth Ennis.
And Liam Sharp on art.
Yeah,
it looks crazy. It looks like a forgotten kind of like
I know.
Alternate.
And then again, they must have done it on purpose.
Yeah. Detective 1040, Mariko Tamaki, Dan Waters. Check it out. It's it's the best Batman book that's in continuity. It's coming out right now.
I really like that cover.
Me too. Amazing Spider-Man 71 continues the Sinister War. Really hammers home that whole Kindred crap. We'll see how it goes. I'm liking the event. We'll see if I like the tie-in. Daredevil 32 from Chip Zdarsky and Mike Hawthorne. This may be Mike Hawthorne's last issue on Daredevil. Who knows? But it's part 2 of the next arc. The antes are up. Bullseye is bullseyeing. You got to read this if you haven't already checked it out.
Where'd Chichetto go?
He's doing the covers.
No, what else?
Right, what is he do? He needs the time, I guess. I don't know.
No, what is he doing?
I don't know. Strange Adventures number 11, obviously.
Oh, I didn't even catch that in there. Look at that cover.
I know, this book is so great. Penultimate issue. Do not pick this up unless you've read issues 1 through 10.
That cover's spectacular.
But here's the thing. This book comes out tomorrow. So you have less than 24 hours to read issues 1 through 10 so that you're not spoiled for issue 11, because I'm sure some jackass will do it on Twitter. So please read Strange Adventures numbers 1 through 10. Infinite Frontier number 3 from Josh Williamson and Zermanico. You heard Josh himself tell you how cool this book is. I promise you, this is like a direction of DC that I could really get behind that has nothing to do with bats or metal or anything from Grant Morrison. It's really cool. Beta Ray Bill number 5, the finale of Danny Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer's Beta Ray Bill miniseries.
I legitimately can't wait for you to do this on the couch.
Me too.
Because of the opening and the Rufios.
Oh my God, they're going to freak out.
Especially Ethan.
But yes, this is so good. This book better be released by Marvel in an oversized edition. That's all I'll say about that.
That'd be dope.
And while I hate the direction and I don't like the concept, I am going to pick up Superman Son of Kal-El number 1 because it's written by Tom Taylor with art by John Timms. This is the one to check out, I guess. New series. I don't know what DC's whole thing is. You got to make John Superman now. He's an adult. He's got to be Superman. Clark sucks.
Well, that way when they kill him, it'll be sad.
Yeah, that's a good idea. They should just kill John.
Tell me that's not what someone over there is thinking about.
DC's always thinking about killing your favorite character. So yeah, check out those books, and we'll see you guys next time. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click the bell for notifications. If you like this video, give it a like. It'll help us out a lot. Subscribe to our channel here on ComicPop Returns, and go over to ComicPop Prime at youtube.com/ComicPop and watch back issues over there. Big Spider-Man episode coming out on Wednesday. Of course, if you want more, there's more. There's so much more. Go to twitch.tv/ComicPop. Follow Tiffany and watch her play video games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Follow us on patreon.com/ComicPop, or follow us all on Instagram.com/ComicPopOfficial, or TikTok.com/ComicPapa, or The Real Zoobs on Twitter. And we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
Thanks a lot. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.